107.5 WGCI, the Shine's #1 for hip hop and R&B, and the home of Big Jam, presented by Get Covered Illinois, going down this Saturday, December 3rd at the United Center. Get them tickets at WGCI.com. All right, you know how we do it. Leon Rogers in the building, Kendrick G, myself, Kyle, and as you can see, Chicago's very own, the son of the city, friends of the show, Chance the Rapper.
I'm back. What's up?
It's good to see you, bro.
It's good to see y'all. Good morning, Chicago.
So Chance is here, man. He's got a very big thing happening. Chance and Vic Mensa, the Black Star Line Festival in Ghana. Let's talk about it.
In West Africa, yeah. No, I'm real excited. We're getting close to the date. It's January 6th at the Black Star Square in Accra, Ghana. And it's just like a big black convention. You know, like typically like a lot of people with like actual relationships to Ghana and just black people at large, like a lot of times travel at the end of the year and go spend their time in Ghana, get, you know, a cultural restart and refresh and education on their history. And what we trying to do is use that convening time to, like, you know, offer a real experience and, like, you know, and like what we have to offer globally as black people. So it's myself on the bill. You got Vic Mensa performing, Chicago's own Jeremiah on the bill, Miss Erykah Badu, T-Pain.
Oh, wow.
Some special guests too. I can't say yet,
I'm
but
coming with it.
It's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be a historic event. I liken it to the Million Man March or the concert in Zaire or the Pan-African Fest Algeria. Like it's very music related, but there's also like a series of talks and panels and education going on. We're working with the University of East Legon in Ghana, working with the National Museum of Ghana, like kind of just giving us a time to be in confidence and just have some conversations that we need to have.
Dope.
Talk about the passion behind this, because you and I, we were just together last week, and I went, my last major trip was to Ghana. Look, I just found this picture.
Ooh, that's the gate.
That's where the festival's
going to be. That's in 2019, yeah, right
that's where the festival's going to be at for your show, right? So when I went to Ghana, for me, it was like changing. Being in Africa, just knowing like where we came from and seeing our people, everything about black people to me made so much sense, because we have this essence about us that's just there from the beginning. Tell me about like how Africa changed you.
Man, it really helped me understand my identity in terms of like who I am as a black man in the world. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times our context as black people, we derive it from the nation that we're from. So like black folks in Jamaica feel very strongly Jamaican. Black folks in the UK feel very English. And black folks in America feel American. Even if we don't love America or the system, like we still identify by being black people with this experience. But we're everywhere and we are all the same people. And I think like normally a context to Africa or of Ghana is like you understand its role in the slave trade. It's got like some of the biggest slave castle in Africa is in Cape Coast in Ghana. But you don't always get the history unless you get there in terms of like what some of the recent history of Ghana is. Like Ghana's the first country in West Africa or in sub-Saharan Africa period to get its independence from colonialism. So they fought the British and won and announced that they were a free state, and all these other countries start to follow suit right after. And that wasn't until like 1957. So, you know what I'm saying? Like at that point, there's a lot of civil unrest in the Americas, and people like Maya Angelou, Malcolm X, the Kings, like these different, you know, important people that went on to do much greater work later came and got influenced in Ghana and came back and spread that knowledge, and that's why you see so much revolution happening in the 60s.
Angela Davis.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so these people were, you know, they did something crucial that changed the course of history in terms of like granting us independence, finding a new identity, and explaining that we are all one global people. And I feel like we kind of gotta like, you know, redefine our history, because we're so locked into the idea of ourselves being, you know, captured black folks that are spread around the world, but we don't necessarily think about all the strides that we've taken ourselves towards our own independence. And so I feel like when I went to Africa, I went there kind of just trying to have a good time, to be honest. The nightlife in Ghana is crazy.
And it turned
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know Vic showed you all that.
Yeah, no,
like, Vic had every picture I saw him in Africa, shirt was off, the homies. I said, man, Vic out here wild.
No, it's cracking out there.
Chicago, Chance the Rapper hanging out with us in the studio. We're talking to Black Star Line Festival. More with Chance coming up next. Make sure y'all don't go nowhere. It's GCI. Chance the Rapper's in the studio.
So Chance, you were talking about, you know, the whole culture and the reasoning behind everything, and as African American that, you know, or American African that grew up over here, that, you know, sometimes we do, let's be honest, we do sometimes want to know where we come from, and a lot of that gets lost after. So like, after my great grandmother died, it kind of like stops there. I don't have a conduit to go and talk to anybody else or read anything on paper. What specifically can you say to the child growing up or the young adult that's trying to find itself, similar like what Kyrie Irving is going through, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with this brother seeking out knowledge. No. But what are some of the pitfalls that you hope people avoid when trying to find this knowledge? Like, you know what I'm saying, when doors get closed in their face?
I think the main pitfall that we've had as a people in the past is, so this idea of Pan-Africanism, like us being connected to the motherland and having global connections worldwide and looking out for each other as black folks, at the turn of the century in the early 1900s, late 1800s, there was a lot of like, you know, it was built with good intentions, but a lot of like displacement that happened because of black folks with more wealth or, you know, just more economically sound were moving to West Africa in hopes of like building this, you know, building themselves up and having, but what happened was, because of capitalism and because of like, you know, just a mismanagement of an idea, a lot of like tensions grew, and now there's still to this day civil unrest in Liberia between the descendants of black Americans and people that are, you know, local people that have been there for generations. And so I think when I talk about like my ideas for global blackness, I think of Pan-Africanism as kind of like, in a new way, a neo-Pan-Africanism. That means that it's not about taking up physical space. It's not about going out to Ghana and buying up a bunch of cheap land or trying to be, you know, more economically sound in another space. It's about being able to support each other. So if we could build these friendships and these relationships without having to like, you know, be capitalist or trying to take advantage of every situation, then I think we'll be fine. But I do want people to understand that this doesn't even just stop in Ghana. Like this is the first iteration of the festival. It's a free concert. You know, Erykah Badu, T-Pain, myself, a bunch of people. But I'm looking to take this, the next step, I want to take it to Jamaica. And then, you know, I want to take it to another place in the continent and then bring it to Haiti. You know, I want to continue to find spaces and create spaces for black people to be in community and to not always be about what's most advantageous to me economically, but also what's going to be the most sustainable connection that we could build.
Not just so you're doing a concert, man. You got new music.
Yeah! You know!
Before we go any further in this conversation, let's take a quick break and get into this new song you got. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, man. Wait, are we talking about right now? My fault. It's like before we take a break, and then we're gonna take a break.
Give us a quick synopsis of it, and then we'll play the song.
Y'all know this is my newest record. It's in collaboration with King Promise, an amazing artist out of Ghana, and the artwork was done by Mia Lee. You know, if you're in Chicago, you know I've been doing a series of art releases, working with the top fine artists, black artists from around the world, and kind of creating these pieces together. And so this is a painting as well as a film piece, and obviously the song that we're about to get into. But it's called You Know, and it's actually about what you was talking about earlier. Like, a lot of history is kind of lost on us because our grandparents and our great-grandparents wanted to protect us from some of the stories of struggle and displacement and the things that we went through. And now we're in the information age where everything's so much more accessible.
Right.
And so now we're learning a lot of these stories. And this song kind of emphasizes the journeys of our past and our elders, and also encourages us to be open and to talk about the things that we go through so that we can continue to build this history. Y'all know?
Yeah, there it is. Let's get into it, Chicago. Y'all know Chance the Rapper featuring King Promise right here for the first time on 107.5 WGCI. You know what I'm saying? Yo, gotta shout out the homie, man. Taylor's in here too. Shout out to Taylor Bennett hanging out with us. You know what I mean?
Little bruh.
You know, the brother with me.
No doubt.
The manager.
My manager. We're talking to Black Star.
Same face ass.
We are one nigga. Okay, it's okay. It's pre-recorded. Just bleep it, though. You know what I mean?
Oh Oh, God.
We're talking Chance's Black Star Line Festival, the festival that Chance is doing alongside Vic Mensa. I want to talk about the title, man. For the people that don't know, the Black Star Line was something that Marcus Garvey presented. He had an idea that all black Americans should actually leave here, go back to Africa, and those ships would have been the Black Star Line to take black people back to Africa. So it was intentional for y'all to pick that name, yes?
Exactly. I mean, Marcus Garvey inspired a lot of people. So, like you said, he started the Black Star Line, which was in response to the White Star Line, a famous shipping company that also owned the Titanic. But he basically started a business that was centered in trade, and he wanted to create a trade system for black people where we own the cargo and the goods and could create, economic opportunities for ourselves. And it was actually crowdfunded by, low-income families that put up $5 a share till they raised enough money to buy. I think he had a fleet at one point of 7, ocean liner ships. These are like the gigantic cruise-size ships that he owned and operated, and they did trade from the Americas to the islands in South America, and he always had the goal of taking the ships to Africa. And then obviously, like many things in the early 1900s, the United States, framed him and deported him back to Jamaica. But he ended up inspiring a lot of people. So the first president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, who freed them from the British, went and studied at a HBCU in college, and he learned about Marcus Garvey, and that's why he actually, became such a Pan-Africanist and created Ghana in the framework of the UNIA and all of Marcus Garvey's teachings. So that's the reason why Ghana is so open to the black diaspora coming in. That's the reason why you see the Black Star in their flag and the Black Star Square where we're holding it's all in homage to Marcus Garvey and his work. And I think it's really important that we learn about things like this in the agency that we had as early as the 1920s. This is pre-Dr. King, pre-Malcolm X, pre a lot of like the civil rights movement. There were black folks that was like straight up militant. That was like, no, this is how we gonna get it done. This is how we gonna get up. And he basically, reversed this idea and image of ourselves as people that were only underneath the ships to being the people on top of the ships, directing, our travel and
controlling our narrative.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I'm so inspired by him, and I think that's the reason why we named the festival the Black Star Line Fest. That's why my album is gonna be called Starline Gallery. It's all like this idea of creating a network for us and being able to tell our stories and direct our own narratives.
Dope.
If all the black people in America went back to Africa, game over.
Yeah.
It's like literally game over. We took all our greatness and
I would like that, but I would want us to have a nice military with some firepower too. Cause put us like Farrakhan said, you put us all on one continent. Let's blow that up.
Right?
I'm gonna stay mixed in with him. You gonna shoot him? You gonna shoot me?
What's crazy is we do. That was like one of the things that really blew me away when I first went there was seeing all that like the all black military. That's kind of crazy, but that what you said is a really good important point to keep. Like, the power of any nation or system lies in its diaspora and how that country disseminates people to other places to create communities. Yeah. So if you notice, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, if you notice, like, there are Jewish people that live in every part of the world, right? And they create communities amongst themselves where they control their economy, they control their education, their medical, a lot of things. And black
Indian, Chinese,
throw them all in there. Yeah. But black folks, we were not given the choice to how we spread. But because we're such strong people spiritually, we've lasted so many different attacks and so many different transitional points in our history that now we're everywhere. There are a lot of black people in China, a lot of black Indians, a lot of black Australians, a lot of black. We're literally everywhere.
Netherlands, UK.
We tell people all the time, them slave ships didn't just come to America. They in South America, Central America.
But let's be honest, like even too far as like with the military, brothers that come and they go to the military. I got brothers right now still live in Germany, have German wives, but they kids look like us, So I mean, it is what it is. Like, U.S. military goes somewhere, they leave a base there, and guess what?
But that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to go to a place. I think everybody should do what they want to do, but I think our strength lies in us being able to come together as a community in America with our base being in Africa. So if in most cases, if there's a crime or atrocity generated towards a people in America or any country, the people, the diasporic people of that nation or of that tribe come together and they say this is wrong, this isn't just, but they also reach back to their homeland and say, hey, we need support on this issue.
Right.
And they'll pressure America, both from the people that are within the community in America and from the outside land, to add rules and laws that'll protect them. When black folks go through it, it's just us black folks going through it.
Right.
But if we had the 54 countries in Africa, the 54 militaries, and not just in Africa, but also in Jamaica and in the islands and in the black communities and other places, we would be the strongest. We would be as strong as we could possibly be.
I just want to add one thing to that. I think also, too, sometimes we are our own worst enemy. We got to learn how to work together and support each other. And I feel like if we took that part seriously and just said we're going to support black people, black businesses, and keep it in the family, then we can do like the other.
But that comes from the 400. We talk about that all the time. That comes from what's been embedded in you.
Conditioning.
If you try to escape,
conditioning.
you better come tell me. Like that comes from that. So.
Look, man, Chance, Vic Mensa, you guys are doing a great thing. The Black Star Line Festival, Chicago, I think it's definitely worth your time. Give the people the information where they can look up the festival, get everything they need to know.
Yes, Black Star Line Festival is happening in Accra, Ghana in West Africa, January 6th. It's a totally free concert. Myself, T-Pain, Erykah Badu, Sarkodie, Vic Mensa, Jeremiah, Tobin Wigwe, and special guests, of course. It's completely free, and you could get your tickets right now on blackstarlinefest.com. Travel accommodations, hotels, and discounts are available for airfare on the website. And even if you can't make it down, you could still be in community with us just by being real towards your people and protecting each other. So this is a rolling thing.
Chance, will you guys have anything far as like streaming? Well, maybe people can
what
watch.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna make a documentary. We're documenting everything. We're making a documentary as we speak, and when we're done with it, we're gonna have a real story to tell. You know, and like I said, it stretches outside of the music. There's gonna be some really important speakers that you're gonna want to be there to see talk at the University of East Legon. There's gonna be worldwide global black artists presented at the National Museum Ghana, and then again, it ends with this big concert with myself and Vic Mensa, Erykah Badu, T-Pain. And we're going to document it all and make sure that everybody gets a chance to see the story.
Website one more time. I'm trying to find it right now.
The website, to get your tickets, to get your airfare, to get your hotels, everything is in one place. It's blackstarlinefest.com.
Right now,
There it is.
Decent. Man. I got to do the conversion from
dollars to cents. I'll get your cities up. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, appreciate you kicking it with us today, man. Make sure you check out the website, Black Star Line Fest, baby. Chance to rap in.
Yeah, man.
All love.
It's crazy.